Maing adlaw, welcome back to my channel, and on this video we're gonna be talking about the latest episode of A Tale of 1000stars, episode 5. On this episode, one of my favorite scenes was when Tian asked Tool about his feelings towards men, and Tool's response to that and also a reaction to that question were so impactful. He was saying that why should we be surprised about men liking men? Like in this day and age, 2021, it's normal, or it should not be a spectacle, it should not be a surprise when your friend tells you that, I like men. So basically, Tool was saying that it's each individual's preference as to whom like they should have a relationship with. Kanya-kanyang decision sa buhay. And one of the LGBTQIA plus community fights involves normalizing queer relationships. Has been taken as something like a taboo thing before, but it should not be anymore. It's 2021. It should be normal. And this scene is one of the reasons actually why boys love or BL series are continuously being created, so that people will see that relationships like this does exist and it should be treated like a normal relationship, like a heterosexual relationship. This also reminded me of White's character in Theory of Love too. He was both the supportive best friend of the protagonist for both series. So it's just funny that on the series Theory of Love 2, or White was actually the partner or the love team of Earth, or Chief Pupa. So it's just funny that they're basically on the series they did not meet yet, and they're excited, or like Tool was excited to meet Pupa, since Chan is saying that Pupa is basically his happiness. So we can only imagine what would happen if Tool meet Pupa and they were like, I think I remember you from somewhere. Do you remember? Aside from Tool being the supportive best friend, the other characters on the series, Dr. Nam, Rang, and Yud were also supportive of Chief Pufa's feelings toward Chan. Dr. Nam even provided like some love advice. They're basically not making a big deal about the Pupa falling in love with Chan. The same as how they seem to be, or they are treating it the same as how they were teasing. So they're seeing it as something without any difference. So yeah. Even Dr. Nam even advised Chief Pupa to confess his feelings toward Chan. Now we're gonna go to the other thing that I also noticed in the series is basically their concern for the environment. So one of the thing I think that they are promoting on the series is the love for Mother Earth. The statement made by Chan about people supporting reforestation, but the same people are also adorning their houses with ivories, speaks the truth actually. If I'm not mistaken, ivories are from the elephant's tusk, and elephant is the national animal of Thailand. They actually consider elephants as sacred. In the recent years, people have been concerned about how these sacred animals are being treated by the people who are using them for tourism. So tourists as well, or travelers who are concerned as well, were also speaking up regarding that treatment towards like the elephant. When Chan talked about that, it made me like remember of that issue, environmental issue that they have. And I really love that they're like including these things on the series. Aside from being it as a boys love series, they're also showing other things that are of concern. Let's go about the statement that Chan did. He said that compensating the bad deeds by doing something good. For me, it's you are supposed to stop doing your bad deed and not do good just to compensate what you did that was bad. So stopping it, like the bad behavior, stopping it is the right way to do it. Because, doing something good is not actually a ticket for us to do something bad. If we are allow people to do bad things because they'll do something good after, then they're not gonna stop doing the bad. They're gonna continue, and we're gonna end up on like a cycle. It's gonna be a never ending cycle. So that's not good. Let's all be good people. Let's spread, as I'm adding on my description, let's all spread kindness and love, please. Now, another thing that I want to share with you is also from the scene where Tul and Chan were talking about the discomfort that he might have leaving like a simple, provincial life where there's the gecko, there is the toilet, there are the mosquitoes and things like that. The thing about that is when everyone, I think everyone wants to live a comfortable life, but it depends actually on each individual as to how they define comfort. There might be people who find comfort on those small little things, on those simple things, like me. I enjoy, or my comfort zone basically is in the province, my hometown, where it's simple, it's peaceful for me when I'm in the province. So that is my comfort, and it might be the comfort of others. Others may find luxury as their comfort, so that's their thing. We cannot judge them for that as long as they're not, doing bad things just to achieve that comfortable life. Then that should be fine. Because sometimes we have this idea that luxury is equitable, or is equal to like comfortability. It is not. A luxury is not always comfortable. Alright, so after all that okay, so we are done with all the serious talks about the things that happen in this series. Now let's go ahead and talk about the romance between Chan and Chief Pufa. So from like the third, I think, episode up to this one, they are really enjoying their dates, right? Like, they've been on a lot of dates together, spend the night together, so they're always together. The fact that Chief Pupa was actually looking for Chan when he was in the city or in the center, when he was not in the village, is kind of like, him not being able to think of what to do because Chan is not around. Like, if episode 4's kilig moments were not enough, here they are again on episode 5, shoving bananas into their mouths, basically indirectly kissing. I can say that on this episode, they are on the stage of admitting that they're in love with each other. Like, they admit to themselves that I'm in love with the other person, but they are actually not yet ready to put like a label on it, or to go into like a relationship. So they're still, they still have the doubts. If they say that they're in love, or like I like you, they're doubting if it's gonna be like reciprocated. So they're still in that kind of stage, but they're almost there. Maybe on episode 6. If you have noticed as well in this episode, when Chan said to Pufa that you should smile to the person you like, and then Pufa was always smiling to him right after that. Like, right after he said that, he took a picture of Chan, and then he smiled at the photo while making the kites. He was smiling at Chan when Chan was talking to him. Like, every time now, or like after he said, like Chan said that, every time Pupa looks at Chan, he's smiling. like smiling together, even when like while drinking the coffee. Every time after that, he's smiling at Chan. Boy, our chief is so in love. I hope that what they have right now is an answer to the question on Chan's tote bag. I'm not gonna say what it said, but it's yours to find out. I'm so into like the details of everything and I put meaning on it, so yeah, you might want to check out the statement that is on Chan's tote bag. So now let's go back to something serious. This is actually gonna be the portion that I'm gonna talk to you about my concerns, things that that might happen, my thoughts. If you have noticed, this episode started with the scene from the club where they were going to their cars to start the car race. But then on the first episode, it skipped to the hospital scene. Now on this one, it actually gives us a little bit of detail what happened after the collapse thing in the club, or the collapse scenario in the club. Actually, Chan did not collapse on the stairs. He was able to get onto his car and then was talked to by Tu to not continue with the race. And then again, we're missing the parts after that. Now, since I saw the scene where they cut off the part of like the car race, I was a little bit concerned that who hit their phone was actually Chan driving the car. That to me is something. It's like it's like it's like darkness that is ahead for their story. I really want them, Chief Pupa and Chan, to be happy, but there is that darkness ahead of them. We are so we're fed we are being fed from episode 1 to episode 5 of all the sweet killing moments, and I'm afraid that on the next episodes they will just shock us with all of these sad revelations and stories. A story or a series, there's always that turning point, there's always that climax, there's always that bomb that will hit us once the show is almost over, and it will turn around the story. So I really don't want to see that as Chan hitting her phone and resulting to her death, and then it end up her heart being transferred to Chan. That would be so chaotic. It will be a total mess once that happens. It will affect not only Chief Pupa but also the people in the village. That will be really a sad turn of events once that has happened. But this is only a theory. I hope that this will not happen. This is not the story actually. So let's pray that it's not that. And that's basically my concern. I think some of us also noticed that, and I hope that that will not happen. Because what I'm really afraid whenever there is the story of whenever I watch series, are when a protagonist is killed, is died on the series. I'm usually I stop watching that kind of series because I can't continue once that happens. I may continue watching it, but it will take a time before I do that. So I hope that in this one, Turfone is already dead, but I think I'll have the same feeling when it's gonna be revealed that it's Chan who hit Turfone. I hope it's not. I hope that's not the story. Let's stop all of that thinking, and we're gonna go now talk about some of the little things that I've noticed on the series. And as I said on some of my videos and on this one, that I'm really into the small details on film series or in the video that I watch. I'm really into what happens in the background and things like that, what are written on things like that. So one thing that I was checking out, or when one of the scene that I actually researched about because of what they said and what were the reactions was when Chan asked Fufa to create or make a kite and fly a kite. So when Chan said that, Fufa had like a sort of questionable reaction. He smiled like he smirked, I think, or he smiled like he was about to laugh. So that made me think, what does that mean? So I googled flying kite and what it means in Thailand, and yeah, it's actually a slang for orgasm or masturbation. So basically that's the meaning of it, or the slang term for those things when I research online. So hence it now explained why Pufa smiled when Chan said that, and why Pufa said about the dirty thing when they were making the kite. So yeah, as you can see, they're really doing making signs, and they're still not going into the next level, but they're saying a lot already. So yeah. And then another small thing that I researched about was I've been doing this for the past couple of episodes when they were showing like locations outside of the village and outside of like a home or house. So basically I'm gonna share with you some of like the filming locations that I've looked on Google Maps using the clues that I've gathered from the scenes on this episode and a couple of episodes back. I was able to find where cafe Yes I Do was. This is the cafe that you will see also on this episode, and on the episode where Chan and Fupa were, riding the motorcycle and being sweet together. They've actually passed by this cafe, and I was actually trying to find on Google Maps where that tea plantation was. There is a tea plantation near that area, but I can't really see if that's the tea plantation that the villagers were working. So yeah, so I don't know if that's also the area or if it's a different place that they've shot that scene. I'm also trying to find like the location of the village, or the Papundao village, as well as the cliff, but unfortunately hindi ko pa rin siya nakikita. I still haven't found it. Well, you can always say that you can actually look at like the behind the scenes and there might be information about it, but as I mentioned on my previous reactions or talk about the series, I don't want to watch the behind the scenes yet, because I don't want to spoil myself on what will actually happen on the series. So I don't want to watch that. I maybe will react to that or look into that after the series is finished, but right now I don't want to yet. So that's why I'm also doing this one. It's kind of like fun doing this actually, because I love it. I love doing this. So another thing that also I found is the restaurant that Dr. Nam and Chan went to, where they met Mr. Sakda and the henchman. On the map, it's called the Long Cafe. I forgot the name, but you will see this you will see it on this picture that is showing out on the screen. That should be like the name of the cafe. I think it's also the same place where Chan and Tu actually first met. So yeah, I think that's the same place. It's just like a different part of that place. And then another was the Taipei East bar, where the fight thing with the henchman happened. I also found that on Google Maps. I also found the place where after they were like fighting with a henchman, they ran outside, and when they stop on something like a wall, go inside. I also found out that's near Hotel M that you can see on the scene. You will see it on the background. So that's near Hotel M. It's actually like not an inside place in real life. It's actually in front of like a river, I think, or a highway. I forgot, but yeah. And then another location that I've also found was the terminal, or the place where Dr. Nam dropped off Chan. It's actually the Chiang Mai bus terminal 3. When I did my research, I was able to find like the columns, the color of the columns, and where exactly was that shot. It's actually in the front of Chiang Mai bus terminal 3. Yeah, I think that's all the places that I found. I hope I'll be able to find Papundo Village, but yeah. Alright, so I think that's it for this video. Those are the things basically that one other thing as well that I want to actually ask you about is that, or confirm with you, when Chan was purchasing the Osmanthus, the guy that purchased before him, that's off, right? Off, or how do you call him? Off. I don't know how to read his name. The director of the series. Is that am I correct? Is that the director? Please comment below if I'm correct. Alright, so I think that's it for this episode of Let's Talk BL. That's what I'm calling now whenever I talk about a series that I cannot directly react to because of copyright. So I hope you like this video. If you do, you can always click the like button. Subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't yet. You can also turn on the notification bell if you want to be updated whenever I upload videos. You can also follow me on my social media. Links are on the description. And yeah, hangtod sa sunod natong panagkita. Amping lang kanunay. Bye!